Welcome to episode 8 of Wild Angle, where I'm going to show you how I took this award-winning image. Week 8, we're actually here to week 8. Wow, thanks for all the good comments. It's been a really busy week. I've done quite a few shows for Chris Packham and Megan McCubbin on the morning Twitter and Facebook show that they do, the live show. That's been really great. I've enjoyed that a great deal. Did a bee one this morning you're going to see in the future. I haven't found much wildlife this week. I've been looking for the kingfisher, no luck. The dipper I saw, which was good, and I found some sand martins. So they'll all be part of future episodes. But for this week, it's going to be a special one on a trip to Bulgaria we did a couple of years ago, where I got some award-winning shots of a little bittern. So I thought you might quite like it because it's quite fun. It talks about floating hides and stuff like that. There's some really cool pictures. So anyway, sit back and enjoy.
Well, good morning, and you may think I'm just in another hide because I'm surrounded by camouflage gear and stuff, but it's not just another hide, it's a floating hide. Yeah, that's right, I'm actually floating around. I've got, you can see my 500mm here. I've got the Flexline Pro head. It's really good inside the floating hide because I've set the main ball as level, and now everywhere I shoot on the water is completely level, which means I don't have to do any post-processing leveling up, which is fantastic. I'm floating around hoping to see some little bitterns. So far I've seen quite a lot of ducks, heard a lot of warblers and not seen a lot else, but it's a lot of fun just doing this, moving around very slowly, kind of being at one with nature. You probably want to see what I see, so let me turn around, let me show you. Wow, good morning from the floating hide. I have to say, this is the first time I've ever done this. It's just fantastic to be so low. Just simple stuff, you know. It's just really amazing. It's hard work, I won't say it's not, but it's really interesting to be able to move your hide around to get the perfect composition you want. And if there's a branch in the way, you just kind of gently move to one side and you can get out of the way. It's a really wonderful experience, very relaxing. Anyway, I better go and get some pictures, so see you later. My two favourite shots from the shoot are actually very similar. It just shows difference in cropping, really. This was the original one that I shot in this little sequence here. So you can see I shot it portrait. I have no idea why I didn't shoot it landscape. Luckily, the next sequence is I got a landscape original to crop from. It's always better if you're going to do a crop sequence to have a landscape one to begin with. So don't worry about shooting wider. It's great. Modern cameras can take it. Focus right on the eye. Wait till the beak is on the side. If the beak straight on looks a bit strange. Could look good if you're right in tight to it, a funky portrait. But side like this, you want the, you know, where you kind of got, I don't know, a third of the frame is the bird, if you like. You want the beak on the side. It's got beautiful light on it. And look at the incredible way that bittern is hanging onto the reeds. My yoga teacher on YouTube, Tim Sinisi, I tell you what, he can do amazing things, balancing on his head and one finger. He couldn't do that, and the bittern did it all the time. It was just unbelievable. And also, I left a lovely amount of space on this. Now, I cropped it. There you go. And I want to tell you what, and I want to give you a name for this crop. Are you ready? It's the Instagram crop, because this is what Instagram wants us to publish all the time. And when I don't publish it, it penalises me, because not a lot of people like my wide angles. Instagram loves us, the Instagram crowd love us to post close-in images like this. And we all become a victim of it. Well, it's up to you. Obviously, if you want Instagram followers and it's important to you, great, do that. But really, you should stick to your integrity. And I prefer the wider angle shot to this because I think it says more. And if you're going to put a picture on your wall, it's always going to be the wide angle one. But look at that amazing bird, the way it's hanging on. Now you can see the depth of field again, f4, is focused on the head, which is leaning out. So the feet are not very sharp. Does it matter? Absolutely not. Nitpickers will say, oh, it does. Nitpickers never ever go out of their rooms. They stay in these rooms all day long and dream of taking pictures. So you don't have to worry about stuff like that, all right? The important thing here is the eyes in focus, enough of the body's in focus. And I was getting ready for the crash into the water. So I was getting the aperture down quite low. All right. Now, here's the award-winning one. This is the one that won the award. Now, this is a different sequence from the last one. It's taken milliseconds later, but it's got a landscape original to crop from. And this is actually not the original. It's slightly wider the original because I managed to walk straightly further out from the shore, okay, so I could set the distance. So this is a crop one, and again, I love it because it's looking across the frame. It's got beautiful colors. You can see the red light in the eye. Absolutely gorgeous. It works really well. Again, because I'm a bit further out, f4 has a slightly better effect and you've got slightly more of the feet in focus. Yes, I could have gone up to f8, but I'd have got a lot more of the reeds in focus, and I like the way they tail off into the background with the subtle hues and the colours and all that, and so does Sean, and Sean rules everything I do. Here we are, cropped again, cropped a little bit more, so you can see these lovely reflections again, and this is the limit that I would like to crop. I mean, this is my absolute limit. I like to let the light tell the story here, which it's all about. And you can see top left-hand corner, there's that reed coming across. A lot of people would waste 10 minutes removing it. Why? It doesn't bother me. It's there. I don't care. And of course, the final crop that I made is your social media crop. There you go. It is amazing when you look at it. I mean, and you can see how moving further out has actually made the depth of field increase. A bit weird, really. And you can see the feet there are in focus. Look at how they're gripping. There's a fly at the bottom I've just noticed as well. Absolutely beautiful picture, and yeah, perfect for putting on social, and maybe I should because I've never have. But I was very, very proud to get highly commended for this image in the William Smith Rice International Photo Awards, which is called Nature's Best. It's an American wildlife photography of the year, if you like. I always enter it. I love it. It's a fantastic magazine and publication too. If you want to check it out, it's full of great pictures. And I always seem to do quite well in it. I seem to quite like my images, and I was very proud last year to get highly commended in the birds category with this one. All right, well, I hope that that's been useful for you and that you've learnt a few bits. You know, certainly what I want you to take away from this is, you know, closest is not always best. So don't always stick converters on and try and get as close. It's a lot better to take something wider and then crop it in the camera later, crop it in your spare bedroom or naughty den later on. It's a lot better to do that, all right? So that's a big tip for you. And always think about action. Always think ahead about what could happen, okay? And don't miss it. Think ahead and plan for it and set your camera up just in case. That's what I always do. Anyway, time for me and Sean to say goodbye.
Well, I'm out here in Bulgaria doing lots of birds, believe it or not. And since it's a hot day, we decided to come to a reflection pool with our friend Lucky. And amazingly, it's turned out to be something quite incredible because I've discovered that I love photographing wasps. And here it's got some really cool pictures. Look at that. Hold on. There you go. Of a wasp drinking. Now, yesterday you saw us in this hide. That's the bird hide, laughingly called. There's no birds because it's too hot right now. So we're doing macro, and macro, me, not flowers. As you saw yesterday, we're getting bees and wasps reflections on the water, which has been really stunning and really great to do. But today I've decided to challenge myself even more, which I kind of do every day, and get some bees or wasps taking off from the water. Now, normally you'd use an infrared trigger and studio lights in the studio. I'm not doing any of that. I want to do it here, and I want to show you how I'm doing it because I'm actually managing to nail it after sitting and working out. Now, the first thing is the takeoff is so fast, you can't react. Even me, and I'm used to this doing stuff, I can't react in time. So you've got to look for some tell. What do I mean by a tell? Well, you know when you're playing poker and you get a fantastic hand, you go, oh yes, I'm going to get a Ferrari, and everyone suddenly realises you've got a really good hand. Maybe not. You've got to look for a tell, and what I've worked out is the little antenna. This is Andy Rouse's antenna. Is that good, Suze? Suze is here with me. Wave, wave. That's my little antenna. They do this just before they take off. It's fieldcraft, all right? You just got to look and observe. So they do this before they take off. So if they do that before they take off, at that point, I've got the motor drive on, I start firing. It's the only way to do it. And wait for the antenna. There it goes. Go on, go on. There you go. That is a bee taking off.
There's the first one where he's on the ground, and that's the fire, and that's the goodbye. But it's actually still quite good. That's actually quite sharp at 100%. I'm quite amazed. But anyway, there's a good technique for you. You know, you kind of turn something that seems really, really difficult and unachievable into an opportunity just by thinking about it and thinking, do you know what? I can get this. I can do it.
Okay, here's a few of the bird images we shot. What a beautiful European bee to look at the wings there on a hunting flight looking for bees. Very difficult to shoot in flight. I managed to only get a couple. Well, I love this one with the wings out and the nice background behind. Look how beautiful they are. The one on the left, beautiful sunlight. The one on the right, reflected backlight. So you can tell it's got my favourite black background. And here we are actually with a bee in its mouth. Wow, look at that. He's actually caught something. Are you going to eat it? Are you going to eat it? Yes, you are. That looks good, doesn't it? What a beautiful bird. Look at that. Here we are, another beautiful bird. European roller with a moth this time. Am I going to gobble it down? No. Am I going to give it to the female as a food pass? No, I'm not. Haha, next time. This is a rose-coloured starling. Look at the crickets in the mouth. We photographed this in an old quarry. Really, really great experience. And a black-headed bunting. Look at that food going right to its mouth. I need to eat my dinner, because I'm getting very, very hungry. Beautiful colours there in the sunflowers as well. And finally, a woodchat shrike. I don't normally photograph stuff like this, but it was just a beautiful bird. There you go, next time. Well, I certainly hope that you enjoyed that, and what a great trip it was. I can't wait to get back, and of course, the new normal means I will at some time. All right, the next bit is some critiques. I've got such a stack of critiques from people. Thanks for all your really cool comments and the fact you've been sending me them. So here's a few that I've picked for this week. All right, let's start the critiques today with this red kite by Rob. Rob tells me that he's a novice. Well, Rob, you've done really, really well to get this nice and sharp in the frame. Interesting head angle looking at something. My critique of it is the light, basically. We need light under the wings on the kites. And what you need to do, generally we don't shoot kites in the summer and stuff, we only shoot them in the winter. So you get low winter sun, and when they bank like that, you get this gorgeous colour under the wings. So here's what I've done to it. There you go. I've made it jump from the page. I've increased the colour an awful lot, as you can see. I'll just flick back so you can see the difference, and then forward again. There you go. I've brought the tail out, and also you'll notice that I have rotated it as well. When it's against the sky, you can do what you like, it doesn't matter. So I've rotated it to make the tail look bigger in the frame. I've not really done a lot to that, and I think it gives a nicer angle for the wing and the eye. So really good job, Rob. Just a couple of tweaks there, just took me a couple of minutes. Okay, the next one, I've actually got two images here from Connor. Sorry for the wait, Connor, you've been waiting quite some time. Here's a king eider. You've been to Batsfjord, haven't you? Which is a very famous place to go and photograph a king eider. I wish I'd have done that. What's wrong with this picture? Nothing. I have not made any changes to this at all, because this is exactly as I would shoot it. Of course, I would prefer that the reflection was slightly better. There wasn't that stuff on the water, but that's not your fault, my friend. What I might do is darken that bottom part of the picture off a bit, but apart from that, nothing wrong with that at all. Beautiful composition, beautiful angle, beautiful bird, and one day I will go there. All right, let's have a look at this image of a turnstones. In fact, a group of turnstones feeding in an urban environment. I'm not sure if you were there or if it's a remote shot, but I really like it. It shows some urban life. Too many people try to show wildlife out of the context of towns, and I think this is really great. But here's a few things that I've done. If you have a look, I have kind of dramatised it. Is that the word? I've added more drama into it with tone and contrast. So I've brought the sky out a bit more and made the light a bit more punchy and the colours more punchy. I've also cropped it in. There's too much space in the foreground. You don't need that. There's too much space in the sky as well. I was playing with cutting off the left-hand three birds there because they're kind of walking away. But I figured out they actually hold in that part of the frame quite nicely. So yeah, really nice shot, Connor. Well done, and jealous of your king eider. Okay, last but definitely not least is this beautiful fox cub from Tony. Wow, look at the light on that. It's gorgeous. It's backlit. You can see it's young, gorgeous, innocent eyes, shot really nicely through foliage. And I kind of look at this and I think, do you know, what should I do to it? You know, this is a great picture. You've got it in focus. You've got a wild fox cub. It's awesome to do that. So here's what I've done. I've given it a more dreamy feel, if you like. What I've done, I've toned the highlights right down because the highlights were a little bit high for me. So I've toned them right down in Photoshop using the shadow highlight filter and other techniques as well. I've increased the color saturation on the fox, brought the eyes out a slight bit with the detail, taken the highlight down around the side of the fox, and finally giving it a bit of a watercolor windowed wash with an opaque brush to give it a bit of a dreamy effect, because I think that's what it deserves. It's a really great picture. So well done, Tony, and well done, Connor, and well done, Rob. Thanks a lot, and I'll be back next week with some more critiques. Ta-da! Well, that's the end of the episode, and it's been quite a bumper one. I've now got a pretty big edit on for next week's, which is going to be really, really cool. In the meantime, I've announced my e-talks and my webinars that's part of my development as Andy Rouse 2.0, because we've all got to find the new normal, and certainly as wildlife photographer, I've got to find the new normal for what I do whilst my travels are temporarily on hold. So the webinar's gone really, really well, and actually I think as I speak, we are full, and we'll be doing a webinar series every month, so have a look for that. But our e-talks are available, and there's one next Friday, the 15th, and it's going to be on tigers, plus stuff from the UK. So have a look on my website, the link is below as always, and you can hopefully sign up and hear me waffle on about how much I love wildlife and stuff like that, and show you some cool pictures. Anyway, until next week, I hope the lockdown isn't too tough for you, and I hope you're not eating too much. I know I certainly am. I'll be back next week anyway with another show. Thanks for your support, and see you later. Be safe.